Beth is losing a grip on her gals, her job, and literally her kid. So grab your Dubbies, you're gonna need it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. Do you have your Dubby?
I have you.
You are my Dubby. Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We have a great show tonight. We are talking about Ruby and Agent Turner. We are talking about what happened to Janie. And we're talking about Annie's new manager. Might become more than a manager, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And we also have some good segments coming up, like our Baddest Good Girl. We've got big news tonight, and we've got a lot of shout-outs for you guys. All of that is coming up now.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so let's jump into Ruby and Agent Turner. There we go. Thank you. Ruby is really ratting out the girls with Agent Turner, and we saw a little bit of that on the last episode, but we really see her talking to Agent Turner a lot during this episode, and it's not that she's scared anymore or nervous. I mean, she is just going full on into like spilling the beans, recording the girls' conversations, doing whatever it takes to give them the information, and I do not like it one bit.
She's in. Agent Turner really scared her for sure. So she's in survival mode. You know, I understand this is not the best situation, and I'm not saying I'm pro it or against it, but she's in survival mode. She really sees her family collapsing, and although Beth is like family, she's not family. You know what I mean?
Right. She has her own family with Stan and her kids, so she has to protect them. That's why she got into this in the first place. But still, it's like we've seen glimpses of her being so close to Beth. I mean, I know she's not family, but we've seen them so close. They've been together before iPads were even a thing. So, and they got into this mess together, and it's just like breaks my heart to see her turning on Beth and the girls. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't want it to happen. I don't want her to tell Agent Turner anything. I'm ready for Agent Turner to just be done. I want him to go on vacation, get off of this case, because he's just getting closer and closer. And he keeps scaring them, both Ruby and Stan. And he's scaring Stan about taking a lie detector test to figure out about the pin cap and all of that stuff too. So he's really getting under everybody's skin this episode.
He really is. He really, really is.
I don't like it. It just bothers me so much. And I know it's part of the show and the conflict, but I just hate seeing this side of Ruby. Like, I loved her character all throughout this season and last season, and now I'm just so brokenhearted.
You just want to see these women just keep doing crime and, getting away with it. Everything's great. But
yeah, can't they just do crime? I like that. Can we not get back to the main focus of the show, which is the crime? Yeah. Let's see more crime.
They're drug dealers now. It's a complicated thing.
Yes, and they are in it with the drugs. They have officially gone from this is a desperate situation to this is our new job. And we see that kind of mundane job aspect of being a drug dealer with Beth, because she is waking up, hitting the snooze on the alarm. It gets harder and harder every day.
It really does. It was so funny watching these scenes and how they're just it's showing exactly the same thing over and over again. This routine that we all kind of fall under, sometimes you're 9 to 5 or free, whatever it is that you do. And even drug dealers go through it too. And it's a really tough job. And I like how they're doing this, because you know what? I think if the show was rob a grocery store, get all the money, move on with your life, everything's great, there wouldn't be a show, and also wouldn't be real life. I think people underestimate how tough crime life actually is.
Yeah, do you know much about that?
Oh, the show's taught me so much,
It has, and it's just like a regular business,
Yeah.
You have your regular operations, and you have to deal with people who aren't doing their job right, or people, the tough drug dealers who won't give you your things back. Like we saw in the scene with Beth and the girls trying to get Dubby the blanket back. Now, that scene where they have to go to the house to retrieve the blanket, it was, I want to hear your thoughts about this, but it was very interesting to see them go to get that and talk to the people who are under Beth. These are her employees, essentially, and she left something in the car. She went to go get it. The guys don't take her seriously at all, and they just want to sleep with all the girls, and they are like pointing guns in their face, thinking they're cooler and better and just gonna have their way with them. And Beth has to stand up, take a stand for that. So I don't know. What were you thinking during this scene?
I had several thoughts. Listen,
Good.
I know Beth, I think it's because she's going through so much and she really wants to be a good mother because she doesn't feel that she is really, that much right now. But listen, how many times as a kid did I just like lose like the things that you would suck on those things? I forget what they're called.
Oh, pacifier.
Pacifiers.
Yeah.
My mom tells stories about having to go to crazy extent to try to find new ones, like
Oh.
toys. Like it's part of the game, and life sucks sometimes, but you gotta learn. So as a kid, like there's so many things in my life that I've put somewhere where I shouldn't have, and then it's lost forever. That's just how it is. I know she's best trying to be a good mom, but that was a little much. I was
Yeah.
like, come on, really? Just teach your kid a lesson. Also, you could have knit this thing from the beginning. Like, there's so many other ways you can reassure your child. So that's my first thing. Then, I don't know. It was interesting. I kind of liked her being the boss and again, stepping into this whole role. The fact that she was like, listen, I'm your boss, X, Y, and Z. Don't talk to me this way. I really, really enjoyed. And I kind of was sad that it fell flat.
I know. That was one thing that I noticed too, is she came out of this situation. Normally she comes out of situations and something happens from it. And this one, like you said, it went flat. There was not any gain. Like, she didn't get the blanket. We don't really see anything from these drug dealers again. It just didn't have much oomph to it. It didn't have, stand alone on itself, other than us seeing who they are, that they're drug dealers and that they're under Beth and she's the boss. And we see that a lot.
I think this is what this was proving to us, is that when it comes to drug dealers, these gangs, there's no real boss. It's who opposes a bigger threat. And yes, they are doing business together, but it's still, these are still armed men, and I think that they were just wanting to put her back in their place. Like, she's not the boss if she goes somewhere and leaves without phones, without wallets. She literally was robbed. That's not a boss move.
No, it wasn't. And I agree. That is true. And she's kind of she's maybe in over her head with this situation, and maybe that's what it's trying to prove too. And like you said, she's trying to be a good mother. That was your first point. My thing is, she already has 3 other kids that are older than the one who lost the Dubby, I think. And so she's gone through this situation before as a mother. So why was this one the one that had to be that? And I think it's her feeling guilty about not being there all the time, and with the Post-its and missing recitals and all that stuff.
For sure.
I don't know. I didn't love that scene, to be real honest. And I don't feel that way much about Good Girls. I love all the scenes. But yeah, that one I was a little confused about. So we've got a lot of people out in the comment section right now. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Thank you guys for being involved and chatting with us. And thank you guys for leaving comments. Let's see what you guys are talking about. So Samantha is chatting, saying that she is still hoping Ruby doesn't turn on the girls and maybe tells Beth that she stole the calendar. So that would be great. Marshall Williams agrees. And then we see Storm Within saying Agent Turner seems like he's more obsessed with sending Beth to prison instead of Rio. I think we talked about that a little bit last week too. His focus seems to really be on Beth and not maybe the crime aspect of it or Rio and the gang. It's really on Beth. So that's kind of interesting. We can talk more about that. And then I don't exactly know that I'm going to say this correctly at all, but Azel Dazan, maybe? You can let me know the pronunciation in the chat. I think she did it out of guilt. First, she missed her performance. Then she brought them there. Then the Dubby talking about Beth feeling guilty about the girls. And Storm Within, the police did a horrible job searching the house for Jane. So, yes, a lot of people were all high emotions, I think, this episode. There's a lot going on and there's a lot building, and we're actually seeing some characters really conflicting. Like, we see the villain and kind of Agent Turner now. Dean's obviously been one of the villains throughout, so we're seeing a lot of these, characters that are really like that, villainous, if you will. Okay, so moving on, Storm Within was touching on this about the police at the house. So Jane, their daughter, went missing during this episode. Last week we were talking about it. We thought that the drug dealers took Jane, and that was going to be like punishment for something that Beth did as a boss. But it turns out that she just kind of ran away. And Dean wasn't watching her. He's Daddy Dean. It's real hard for Mr. Deansy.
Although he's doing better. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, okay, you're somewhat stepping in, so I'm going to give you props.
Yeah. I agree. I like that. But nonetheless, she was found in the closet, and it caused this huge commotion with Annie coming. Beth was there. Also, none of the girls had their phone at this point, so everybody had to get a hold of them the old-fashioned way, like landlines and things. But I think this episode, or this scene, is really defining between Dean and Reno Wilson's character Stan, because they start talking about getting rid of Rio.
Yeah, I really love that back and forth. I love how he was like, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
It's exactly all these
just the eye contact, just back and forth, and it was just. I think it was also really good for these two characters to be able to open up to each other, because they're going through the same thing, and it's a very lonesome kind of experience because the only person they can talk to is their partners, who are the ones who kind of got them in this whole mess. So I enjoy that male support system.
I know. I hope that we get to see more of that, I guess, develop, but also I don't want Dean rubbing off on Stan.
That is a concern for sure. That's a concern. But how about Stan rubs off on Dean?
That would be great. That would be amazing, because Stan is still my favorite. So Stan and Ruby were my favorite. Ruby is kind of going down a couple notches, but Stan is still up there for me. He's still such a sweetheart. I just love him so much. So if he rubs off on Dean, I'm okay with that for sure. We can talk about this. This is one of my predictions, but I am pretty sure that Dean and Stan will continue with this plan together, but I don't think it's going to end up very well.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's talk more in predictions.
I know. I can't wait to talk about that.
I like where you're going.
So that was, the other thing that we saw with this scene was Ruby sneaking through the house and found the book club calendar. And oh my goodness, it was back and forth if she was actually going to take it or not. And she ended up taking it and giving that to Agent Turner at the very end.
We don't know. That's no. We don't know if she did that. All we know is that she took it. She's crying, but she's committed, and she calls someone to come over.
That's true. We don't know who it is.
Yep.
I have my thoughts. Okay. So last thing that I want to talk about before we get into our other special segments is Annie has a new manager at the grocery store. And let me tell ya, I was talking about this. I've been talking about this for a long time in predictions, that Annie needs to find a new boyfriend and needs to find a new guy in her life, and maybe this is going to be the one. I don't know, but he's super sweet. He's super nice. He's super funny. Oh, it's so cute. So I want them to be together. But they had a fling in the back. So, I mean, it could just be a one-night stand, one-day stand. Who knows? What are your thoughts?
I've crushed your dreams here.
Do not crush my dreams. I love it.
Okay, first off, yes, I agree. Very sweet man, very charming, but a little bit creepy. Towards the end, I was kind of like, the fact that he's letting her get away with so much, and more importantly, that he's saying that she deserves better. Like, you really don't know her. You've talked to her really briefly where she was taking tequila shots and, like, shouting her mouth off. Like, I get that you saw her soul and you kind of like her. I appreciate that. But you went a little far for me. And then on top of it, I'm disappointed in her because, yes, he's cute, but you're going to go make out in the back with your boss. Haven't we learned anything about affiliating herself with our bosses? It never really ends well. Not that she affiliated herself in the same matter, but still, just go to work, do your job, go home, go do your other crime jobs is all I have to say.
It must be something in her family because, I mean, the Brio situation, Beth gets involved, and then now Annie.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
It must be like a sister thing happening.
I think it's really, really, I think he's cute, but I just don't like how we rushed into this. It just doesn't seem like good decision making, and I kind of maybe would have liked less of him flaunting all over her and like a little less and kind of have this linger on for a few episodes and be like, oh, maybe, versus like, right, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she could have waited and not done that on day one of him being at his job. But I think we will see some of that long back and forth. I don't think that they're really going to like get together in the next episode. I think Annie is going to be scared and something's going to happen and she's going to be like, no, don't talk to me. Don't do this. That was just messed up or whatever. And then
he's busy too. And he has so much to deal with. She has her kid and those issues. She still needs to get over the whole family dynamic of the cheating and all that. And then she has a crime life. I just think there's a lot on her hands.
Crime life keeps you busy. I will say that. Storm Within is also disappointed in Annie. Miss Marshall Williams says, do you think the manager is working with Agent Turner? That would be a very interesting connection if Agent Turner starts planting people where these girls are working or going and things like that.
I do have to say there's something shady about him. He's like, there's something there, but we can talk more later.
Okay, because, now Agent Turner knows who all the girls are, so he can easily find where they work and what they're doing, their schedules, so he could plant somebody for sure. Storm Within is also really hesitant to trust the manager, so I feel like there's a lot of trust issues here.
I'm with you, Storm Within.
I am just on board for a new guy who is not her ex because he needs to go be with Nancy or not be with Nancy and just move on. That's how I feel. But we'll see. So that's exciting. All right, so let's go on to our segments here. So coming up, we're just going to talk about if you guys want to shout out things here in the live chat. We're going to be talking about our favorite Baddest Good Girl. So if you want to write down who your Baddest Good Girl is for this episode, go ahead and do so right now in the chat and we'll shout you out. Then we've got news, and then we're going to be talking promos. So you guys get your predictions ready because we're going to be talking about that at the end, okay?
Wow, this is so exciting.
I know. It's so much to talk about and to predict, and it's getting harder and harder with each episode, I think. Yes. Okay, so let's jump in with the Baddest Good Girl. Do you want to start us off?
I'm going to have you start this off.
Ooh, this is a tough one for me. This is the first episode, I think, where I don't really want to give it to anybody, to be honest.
I'm kind of with you. That's why I threw it your way. I'm like, let's see what direction she goes. Maybe it'll spark something within me. But yeah, because they're all in this episode just bad. Yeah. No baddest like good girl. They're just like, ugh. Yeah. I'm not very happy with any of the decision making that's going on, like at all. I didn't think there were any boss moves. The only boss move was again with Beth, and that fell flat. So I don't think anyone gets it today. I know. I was even racking my brain trying to stretch this as far as like who are the other female characters in this episode, and I almost was like maybe the cat lady, but even then she was just a B word. She was, oh my god. Ooh, you know who I'm gonna do? Who? Okay, I have my Baddest Good Girl, and that is going to be Little Jane, and because she I don't know, because she decided that she was gonna go off into the closet and have her some me time, and she was just gonna get away from all the commotion from the parents and all that, and she ran away while following directions because she did not cross the street, she did not go anywhere she was not supposed to go, but she packed her bags and she moved right on into the closet.
So, that's my baddest good girl. That's the best that I have for this. Let me know. Do you have anything better?
Okay. Yeah, guys, make sure you hop in the chat and let us know who your baddest good girl is. And again, we also have predictions coming up, so if you want to go ahead and do that. But thank you again so much. I love seeing so many people in the live chat. We've obviously been doing this since season 1, and it's really cool seeing the Good Girls super fan AfterBuzz TV audience grow with us. And I really love this is our own little book club, but it's not books, it's TV, because that's better.
I love that. Welcome to book club. Yeah, Monday nights, every night, every week.
And Storm Within, you make a great point. The police did a horrible job searching for the house for Jane. I kind of agree. That was my thought too. I was like, so no one screamed. Like, I don't know. Maybe my parents really installed a lot of fear within me. Like, if I would try to do that, and I could, you could hear your parents' tone, like screaming, like you would come out. No one fully looked. I don't know.
She had the headphones in, though, so maybe she just couldn't hear. As we know, if you have good enough earphones, then you could probably run over and kill somebody without even noticing. So, maybe she's got that high-tech sound canceling earphones.
Storm Within says, agree with Kelsey about Jane being the baddest good girl. Well, there you go. I think she wins.
She wins. Otherwise, I can't think of anybody else.
Yep.
Okay. We'll give it to her. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to, drumroll, news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We have some really exciting news.
The best news, honestly, we've had all season. Legit.
Should we break it together?
All right.
I don't know how we're going to do this.
We
are getting a season 3! Woo! We did that pretty amazing. Woo woo!
Yeah, we should get a season 4 just for that, honestly.
Agreed. So Good Girls is getting another season. I don't know how many episodes that they're doing next season, but at least we have a season 3 to look forward to. So I am so stoked about this. I know all of you guys are too. But yeah.
We were talking before the show, Kelsey, like, it's just that it's so neat that this show has grown and has not disappointed. There aren't really any filler episode. Every episode is stronger. Definitely some are stronger than others, but still they're all so strong. These storylines just keep evolving in the best of ways. I'm on my toes. I'm intrigued. I'm in it, man. I'm in it.
Yeah. And just to echo what you were talking about earlier about the show just growing so much. We've seen that from season to season with the plot line too, with the writing, and how much more complex it's getting. So like season 1, we saw they robbed a store and everything kind of revolved around that one theme. Like things were reacting to that and so on and so on. But this season, we're really seeing a lot of different threads going. We're seeing a more complex plot line. We're just seeing lots of things being thrown in different directions, new characters emerging, and I just am so excited to see what they're going to do for season 3.
Same. I'm so excited.
It's going to be good.
The show can go in any which direction. It's my favorite part about it.
I know. That's so true.
Mr. Marshall Williams says, oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, for sure. All right. Let's do a few, since we're talking about everybody in the live chat, let's go ahead and shout out some people from last week's episode.
Yes, let's do it. Again, thank you guys so much for hopping in the comments. It really helps us as a show grow. It helps AfterBuzz as a network grow, and it's overall so much fun. So thank you. We have a shout out from Jordan Harrington III. I just love how Beth finally got the upper hand on Rio. I also don't think Ruby is gonna rat out Beth, at least not completely. LOL. I don't know, man, but yeah, I guess we'll talk more predictions.
Okay, yeah, that's a prediction.
Samantha Weigler. Weagle 6. Weagle 6.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see.
I said it Sunday night, and I will say it again. Turner needs to take a vacation. I agree.
I agree. Do too.
He needs to just relax for a while. Ruby gave you food. No need to go and scare her into coming in. I kind of agree with that. She did give you lasagna. And it looks so good. So
yes.
ugh.
So be happy with that.
Exactly.
And one more thing to say about Agent Turner, he didn't get anything from Mary Pat and then just kind of let that whole storyline die. And then now he's not getting anything from Ruby and he's threatening her with like jail and all this stuff. I'm just saying no consequences came from Mary Pat, and she's the one that murdered this guy, but yet we're seeing so much consequence and fear from Ruby, and I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Michelle, you left a really cool comment in reference to last week's episode, because these are last week's comments, and we, again, talked at length about this whole sex scene between Dean and Beth, and I thought it was really interesting that you said, I don't think she had sex with Dean because he cleaned. She got turned on by Rio, but didn't want to have sex with him again, so she used Dean to satisfy that need. I think that's a great point. Mm-hmm. I think she was like, oh, yeah, this will do.
I think you're right.
Because she was trying to mimic the same position, the same type of way of doing it, you know,
right.
Like, so, yeah, I'm with you, Michelle.
Yeah, it was definitely just that release and just wanting to do that. And I'm glad she didn't go back to Rio. Like, I'm glad she decided to stick with Dean and not do it with, I mean, I know a lot of people are not happy about the Dean and Beth thing, but I mean, I'm glad she didn't fold with Rio.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. One more?
One more. Candace Brown says, hey, medication / insurance is expensive, so I'm here for Rio helping the community.
Same.
I don't know if he's happy. He's definitely making a profit, but okay. Loved Ruby's locker analogy to her daughter, and true it is. Was really hoping Beth wasn't going to be saying the take your pants off line to Dean with like the vomit emoji. Yep. Yeah. I get that, Candace. Yeah. Here for Annie being an actual parent. I'm there for you. There for that too. I love how you did all these bullet points just like for the whole episode. I really appreciate that, Candace. That's amazing. Ruby's poker face was as bad as Stan's. I get it, but I really wish Ruby wouldn't taken it out before going to Agent Turner. I kind of agree. She's not pretty quick, but he had her up against the wall, quite literally.
Yeah.
So Agent Turner, who I think is only going after Beth because she pissed him off. Yeah, I think that's debatable. I honestly think he's trying to shut the whole operation. So either he's going for Beth rather than Rio because he's tried Rio, that's not really worked, and he's going through that. I think that's kind of what I'm envisioning. Or he's seeing her again as this boss, and he kind of thinks that she has way more control than she maybe has, or she's the face of it all, and I think he really thinks that she's the mastermind. That's why he's going after her. But I do appreciate what you're saying, Candace. And last but not least, no sympathy for Dean! Exclamation point with the emoji with the smoke coming out of the nostrils. You are upset about that one, but then you left this smiling emoji with the laughing, so you're cracking up. So thank you. That was a really, really great comment for you. All those bullet points again. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Candace Brown.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for leaving comments. We love to read them. So if you want to leave comments on this video, then we will shout you out next week. So be sure to let us know what you're thinking. Join in on the conversation. We love to bounce off of what you're saying and talk about that. So it's awesome. Thank you guys. Now the biggest moment is let's get into we'll promo it and then let's talk about what we think is coming up next week. Okay. All right. So for the promo, what we saw.
What are we doing? You gotta know. I want the sound crew.
Okay. We gotta get the sound crew here. Okay. So let's jump into predictions.
Gotta let the
And
people
now,
know.
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we saw the promo.
Okay, so here's the promo. Ruby talks to Beth. Agent Turner tells Ruby she did good. Rio tells Beth to take care of it. And Beth says, something about shooting them. It doesn't always have to be solved by shooting them. And then lastly, Dean wants someone to kill Rio. Mm-hmm. So we see a lot of relational, I think, predictions and teases in this promo, rather than just like an like situation of what's going to happen. So I feel like there's a lot of different places we can go to. We're not really sure who anybody's talking to or talking about, but I think that we can get some predictions coming off of those 4 things.
Yeah.
So first, I just wanted to talk about Ruby and Beth's relationship because I've been talking about that all night and it's really bothering me. But I think that the conversation that they're having is Ruby is telling Beth either that she's talked to Agent Turner or she's given Agent Turner something because Beth is really upset and not speaking to Ruby. So I think that that's the conversation. I think it's going to destroy their relationship for an episode or 2. And we'll see what happens in consequence to that. I don't know what Beth is capable of doing as far as like destroying Ruby or like getting back at her. Like, I don't know if it's going to be kind of like a cat fight sort of between the 2 of them or how she's going to handle it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to go down with that relationship.
Yeah, I agree. I think that so when we ended the episode, she's calling someone. I don't think it's Agent Turner. I legit think she's calling Beth, and Beth's coming over that exact night, and she's telling her the beans, and I think she's going to try to have I think she's trying to have Agent Turner on her side, yet protect Beth, and I don't know if she's going to succeed, but I definitely think, and I know she's going to try. And then in terms of another prediction, early in the episode when they were doing the montage of her with all the cash in the shoe boxes, putting them on top of each other, it kind of gave me this feeling that something is going to happen with the money. There's even the fact that the shelf fell down and then they decided to bury the money. There doesn't seem to be a great, area where they're storing all these crazy amounts of cash. And I'm kind of nervous about where that's going to go.
That's true. Like if somebody's gonna find it, you mean?
Yeah, someone's gonna find it, steal it. Yeah, there's a lot of cash, and I just don't think we have a great system.
Right, because they usually have a business that they're flushing it through or paying like the house off or something. Like they could be doing so much more with this money, but you're right, it's just out in the open kind of.
Yes, but I mean now it's under the ground, but still, I don't know.
Well, we saw what happened last time when she was hiding it in the cereal boxes. Didn't Rio or someone from Rio came in and stole all that money?
Yeah, exactly. We still haven't kind of pinpoint, a safe system. Like literally getting a safe and a code. Not saying that necessarily would work because people have their ways in the show, but still.
Yeah.
The shoe boxes and that are falling and then you're burying it into the ground. I just think we need a better system.
Yep. Okay, I have another prediction, and it is with Dean's hitman situation. So Dean wants to kill Rio, and I think that's going to be I don't think that that's going to be successful. I think it's a really bad idea to cross paths with Rio, but he hires a hitman and we see him show a picture of Rio to some guy. I'm predicting that hitman knows Rio or maybe has worked for him or something along that lines, and that's where it might go amiss.
Yeah. Ooh, I can see that.
So
I can see that. I have a question for you, though.
Yes, go on.
Imagine, and I don't want to put this out here, but imagine there's no Rio and Dean's able to do what he's trying to do. Do we really see Beth retiring this gang life, or is she in so deep that she's the boss and no matter who goes, she's staying in the game?
She cannot leave the game. I don't think that it's possible for her to do that because she's had so many opportunities to leave already, and now it's become more than just needing the money to having fun with it and finding her purpose in doing this, because she likes to be a boss. She tried to go back to her old routine of being a house mom and she couldn't do it. So I think she's kind of forever in this.
Same, and I want Dean to see that. But
Dean!
TBD!
Okay, and then any other predictions? Oh, what about Annie? Do you have any predictions on that?
I just think she's going to continue making bad decisions.
Okay.
Within work, within her personal life.
What
all
do we
around.
think? Do we have any predictions for Nancy or her ex? Because we
haven't seen them in a long time. We
we
really haven't. I wonder if we're gonna have some kind of baby shower or some kind of something that to bring them together. Sadie's been spending a lot of time with her,
Right.
but again, we've heard of them. I think that's a great point. I do see that coming up. They gotta they gotta talk. They're a family after all.
Yeah, and they're too close to be able. Yeah, with Sadie's relationship not being great with Annie, I feel like Sadie's getting closer to Nancy, so we're gonna have some kind of conflict between the moms or something happening there. I'm not sure. Maybe another like party that she has to go to or something similar to that. I feel like we're gonna see them soon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see the baby.
Ooh.
Because she's pregnant. So
Yeah.
maybe we're going to see a baby sister or brother.
Again, the baby brings families together, so there's definitely, they need to get together somehow.
Yeah. So I feel like hopefully we'll see that. And then let's talk about some of your predictions, guys. So we have Samantha. My prediction is Dean's something. Dean's against Rio brings Beth and Rio closer together. Ruby isn't going to turn on Beth. There is going to be a flashback of Beth, Annie, and Ruby. Then we have Storm Within. Maybe Beth and Ruby making it appear that their friendship is over to everyone, even Annie, to throw off Agent Turner.
Ooh.
So maybe that's going to be how they get rid of Agent Turner.
Ooh.
I would like to see something
Very interesting.
getting rid of Agent Turner.
Yeah.
That's what I am hoping to happen. All right, so if you guys have any more predictions for this show, be sure to leave those in the comment section, and any other thoughts that you have on this episode we will shout out next week, so be sure to let us know what you're thinking. Any other thoughts about the show overall before we wrap up?
No, I can't wait for next week. I'm looking really forward to it, and yeah.
I know, the show just gets better and better, and you just never know where it's going to turn. So we're excited. We can't wait. So if you want to continue the conversation with us, then Juliet, where can everybody find you?
Guys, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hightower, and be sure to comment, and we will comment you back. Otherwise, keep loving Good Girls, and we're excited for season 3. We will see you guys right back here, same time, same place, next week. Goodbye!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.